Oh, I need to get a pair of waders. That's cold and wet. It's definitely good to see happy, healthy calves. It is always funny when the calves seem to get riled up with particularly the morning moves, but depending on the weather, sometimes they'll do this with the afternoon move. They don't, this is new to them. They don't know what this is. Their entire life so far has been kind of in an open pasture, set stocking. They haven't been moved, and they just get riled up because the rest of the herd gets riled up. The rest of the herd obviously is excited because they know that every time I come down and move the wire, it's fresh, good, new forage. For the calves, they just get excited because everyone else is getting excited. So they like to chase each other around like that. Hey, happy Monday, everyone. Beautiful day out here. It's like 75, sunny, very little humidity. It's perfect. We need to move the cows for the afternoon. The footage you saw earlier was moving cows in the morning. Just figured I'd bring you along, kind of update you on the herd. I realized I hadn't really talked at all about the calves we had this year, so that's what we're gonna do in today's video. So it feels really good to be back to twice a day moves. They were kind of set stocking in a 2.5 acre pasture for calving, and then I moved them to the little lease next door and they were there for, I think I got maybe 7 days out of that, but I wasn't moving them. So basically, this is the first time I've been back to moving them twice a day. They're in this lease pasture now that I'm gonna hopefully get through from June until July when they'll move back home. So it was a nice break for me, honestly, to not have to worry about moving them twice a day. But it's so much better for the soil, it's so much better for the grass, and in turn it's better for the animals. So it's good to be back to it, and it makes the cows a lot happier. All right, new strip is set up, and let's get these cows moved over. What's up, big dog? What's up, big dog? Come on, girls. So as you can see in front of me, they left enough. I mean, they're not starving. They definitely could have gone back through eating this stuff down a little bit more. And there's a lot of stemmy stuff. I mean, pretty much all of the grasses have put a seed on already. So, we're getting in here late, but as you can see, they do a really good job eating it down. Go for that clover right away. Get some afternoon sugar. And I gotta move my marker over here. Try not to crush this quality clover. Get my marker mounted so the grass is tall enough that when I'm down on the other end there running the line, I can't see the fence post I'm targeted towards. So in order to get a good even amount per strip, I gotta put that fence marker up. High tech. So the only thing I don't like about this pasture is the way I'm running these strips because of, the size herd that I have and the amount that they're getting per day. I run very long, narrow strips, and I've talked about it before. Long, narrow strips, it's not ideal when they're turned into a new area. They're gonna do exactly what like number 2's doing in front of us here, where take a few bites, grab the good stuff, and move on. And they're in a race with each other to get down the line and grab as much of the good stuff as they can first. And so they spend a lot of time, walking the line, walking the new strip. They get down to the end there, and then they're all gonna turn around and start coming back the other way, leapfrogging each other, trying to get the good stuff. And they end up trampling a lot of it. Now, that's obviously not wasting it. We all know that any grass you leave is great for the soil and great for the recovery. And then anything that gets trampled down, same thing. It's, that living mulch, keeping the soil surface covered, keeping the soil surface cool. So if they end up bulldozing a bunch of this stuff, it's not the end of the world, but I obviously have to make sure that the cows are getting enough to eat every day. So I wish I could do wider, shorter strips so they would spend less time walking on what they have to eat. So the square footage, the size of strips that I'm running this year is actually the same in this pasture as I ran last year. I just feel like I'm getting a little bit better utilization out of these strips this year because of the increased numbers. I feel like I did leave a lot on the table last year. I feel like each strip is being better utilized. And again, my tactic has changed this year for each pasture in that I'm gonna graze each pasture a lot harder just because it's only going to be hit once during the growing season. Ideally, that's the plan. Again, plans always change. Each pasture that I either own or lease will be hit once. It'll be hit really, really hard, and then it'll be left alone until we come back for a second graze in fall stockpile. So definitely taking a little bit more off of this than I think I would if I was needing to come back here in 45, 60 days, maybe even 90 days, because we're about midway through June right now. So the plan is to not be back on here until probably into October, maybe even November. So it's definitely going to have some time to recover. And that square footage, for those of you that are wondering, is just under 4,000 square feet a day. It's like 38 and some change, 3850 something, 3,800, you know. So that's split into two. So basically it's from permanent fence line to my temporary permanent fence line, or my temporary perimeter fence, I guess you could call it. It's 321 feet north to south, and then they go 6 feet wide. So they get 2 6-foot wide strips a day. 3 healthy calves this year, which is awesome. Here on this ranch right now, I have 3 brood cows. So 3 mama cows that get bred every year. Everything is bred via AI, and we had a 100% success rate last year. We had a little steer calf here, again, out of number 2. Number 2 is Fat Abby there. I've talked about her a lot, and as much as I would love to get a female out of her just to add to another herd mama, because I love her genetics, her temperament, the size she puts on, her body condition, her udder is great. She's just someone that really thrives in this system, and I get along with her great, and I get along with her offspring. But she's given us 2 black bull calves the last 2 years. So I'm excited to get the first one processed next year. You know, I mean, he's going to be a meaty dude for sure. So I'm happy that she's given us a good meat animal. But if she were to throw a heifer calf one year, I wouldn't be upset, because again, I would like to keep that heifer calf back and expand her genetics in this herd. Number 3, who has had 2 black heifer calves up until this point, had her 3rd black heifer calf this year. So she was actually born right on the due date, and she's a spunky little son of a gun, just like her 2 sisters before her, and just like her mom was when I first got her. Her mom's standing right there. Number 1, the herd boss, she had a red female this year, so I was really happy to see. Number 2 and number 1, you know, that steer calf there and the red female, they were about 5 or 6 days after the projected calving date. So from what I've always heard, you know, they say that if a calf comes on time or early, it's probably a heifer. If a calf comes late, it's probably a bull calf, just because it takes a little bit longer for them to cook. So when that red calf started coming out, I started thinking that we were going to have another red bull, because she has thrown 2 red bull calves for me. Mac, the big red steer there, and then her red steer calf from last year. But it ended up being a female, so I'm really excited to have a red female. I'm planning on holding her back, depending on how she grows up. You know, again, I really enjoy her mom. The sire I picked is awesome. I've been really happy with the calves so far using the AI bull that I've been using. So I want to hold her back and have a red cow here on the ranch, but someone's gonna have to go for her to stay. All right, I need to get tomorrow's strip set up and get water topped off, get some mineral down to these girls. Yeah, thanks for tagging along today as I moved cows. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, you know the drill. Leave them in the comment box down below, and you know I'll always get back to you guys. Thanks for watching.